Okay, next up we have the throat chakra. And the phrase for the throat chakra is I speak. The body part here is the thyroid. And the ages that the throat chakra fits under is 6.5 to 8.5 years old, 18 and 19 years old, 49 to 56 years old. The negative connotations or emotions can be respiratory disease, dental issues, resentment, deceitful, does not value opinions of others, cannot express thoughts. The positive parts are communication, judgment, integrity, accepts feedback, verbal expression, like a secure emotional attachment instead of being too anxious or too avoidant. Again, back to the interdependent. And then the body parts or body connection is the throat and the jaw, the lungs, vocal cords, esophagus, hypothalamus, the mouth, the jaw, and the teeth. So if you or anyone who has ever grinded your teeth or had a tight jaw, then what is it that you've been wanting to say that you can't? Or if you're grinding in the night, then it's like you are trying to bite back because you couldn't during the day. There's someone or something that you wanted to bite back for or say something, but you held back. And so the body holds on to that energy and it will keep going until the body processes what is going on. And in German New Medicine, if you have a symptom, then usually you've processed something. So just paying attention again to the body. What is showing up? Is it that your body is in adaptation because there's a threat in your environment? Or are you in healing because you've resolved it? Or you said, no, I'm not available to that, or I'm going to have better boundaries, or whatever it is. There's so much that happens here. And a reminder that the throat is connected to the sacral chakra, number 2, by your belly button, just below. And this was one cell. It split when we were little babies, and that became the sacral chakra and the throat chakra. Okay, so that part's also connected to the vagus nerve. So when you hum or you sing or you're speaking, you are also moving that vagus nerve and giving your organs a little bit of a massage. This energy is masculine for the throat, so yang. To express is another way of sharing. Instead of I speak, it's to express. And this is the element of ether. Okay, and in German New Medicine, I'll share as well with the thyroid's connected to a powerlessness conflict. So those who have issues with the thyroid is at some point they felt powerless, and the issue is either in a healing or still in conflict and moving back and forth in healing, out of healing. And so it's just knowing which way or where your body's at, what phase, and knowing how to support the body with that. All right, so also known as the Vishuddha chakra is located there in the throat. The area that this chakra's function is authenticity and personal expression. The throat chakra influences your ability to communicate, the ability to listen and express yourself more effectively. When this chakra is functioning correctly, you can effortlessly share your ideas and opinions with others. This chakra affects your ability to read the room, so you know when it's time to talk and when it's time to listen. This will be for many who grew up in a home that maybe was volatile or someone was very angry. Then you learn how to read the room. You learn to get a sense for when it's safe, right? Or if you have to walk on eggshells. Just pay attention to that when your body might be in a heightened state of fight or flight because of that kind of expression when you were growing up. Or if you yourself have it too. Another essential function of the throat chakra is creative expression. The throat chakra permits you to share your artistic talents with others and to inspire them with your creative energy. This chakra impacts your ability to be authentic, and when it's aligned, you won't be afraid to express your true self, revealing your genuine thoughts and ideas. When others say things you disagree with or think that are unjust, this chakra encourages you to express yourself and share your truth, right? Always standing in your authenticity. And usually if you get an idea or a thought comes through, it could be one of your clairs, clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, etc., your intuitive abilities, to trust your gut and to say it or to speak it, because it's in that moment, or maybe you're being prompted by God or source to say something in that moment. So to trust yourself. And muscle testing is really good as well, to just feel if you should say something or not say something. So pay attention to that as well. If you're not sure what muscle testing is, it's basically your yes and your no, or what your truth is in the body. It's the frequency or the vibration of your yes or your no. Okay, and there's many ways that you can do it. I like the sway method, where you stand up and you say, show me yes. And you're either going to move side to side, fall forward, or you fall back. And then you'll say, show me no, and it will be the opposite. So for mine, I fall back as my yes, fall forward as my no. Most people fall forward for their yes and backward for their no. And then you can say, something like, is my name Christine? And your body will give you your yes or no. Is my body Bill? And it'll give you the opposite. So just knowing, it's like a pendulum, but I think that the body works much better. You can't program the body like you can a pendulum with the mind. The mind is very, very powerful. Okay, and so muscle testing is really great to know, should I say something? Is it for my highest good to say something in the situation? We don't want to do any harm. So if you are going to say something to someone and it's going to create some hurt, or they're going to, realize that their boyfriend's cheating on them or something like that, you just want to be very mindful. Are you in a position to support this person further if they need it? Stay in your lane and use a lot of discernment if you are to say something to people or not. And when you are, triggered, or you're feeling a little bit of heightened awareness, remember, breath is your friend. Breath can bring you out of a panic attack all the way into pleasure. And so when you are breathing, your prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, can stay open. And then you can decide, is it for my highest good to say something, or do I not say anything? Or do I wait until the heat of the moment has calmed down and I can go back and either repair or say something where it's actually going to land and someone can hear it and has the capacity to take it in. It's really just being aware of what's going on around you. And as you drop into your heart, into your intuition, then what happens is you can respond from your heart, from your throat, instead of reacting, or reacting from your head, responding from your heart. You can see the difference, that knee-jerk reaction that comes from our head when something happens and our ego feels threatened, or there's a shame moment, and then all of a sudden we feel angry. It's be very mindful when you have that. Just take some deep breaths. Say, you know what, I'm really heated right now. I need 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to go and take a walk, and then we'll have a conversation about this when I get back. Gives everyone a moment to just readjust, recalibrate, and go, okay, what is the main thing in this moment? Right? So that hopefully there's less heated voices and there's more reasoning that can happen with that. Or you say, you know what, I just feel really overwhelmed, or I need to think about this some more. Let me get back to you tomorrow, or let me get back to you on the weekend. But make sure you follow through. Make sure you are in your integrity, and whatever you are giving for the timing, that you honor that for yourself and the other person. Okay, and just, this is new language, I feel, for some people, to be able to express yourself. You don't have to do everything that other people are saying. You don't need to answer the phone when it rings or when it's beeping, a new notification. You get to decide when you do that. You have more control and autonomy and sovereignty than we have been taught, and so just be mindful. If you don't feel good enough, or you're, in a heated moment, or you're upset, don't answer the phone, because that's going to come through to the other person, right? Just take some time, self-regulate, come back into your body so that you're able to then engage with someone at work or on the phone, or your family member or child, whatever it is, when you have more things under control and can think your way through it properly or what might be needed. Okay, so again, with triggers, your trigger is your messenger. And so when you have something that's going on, then you're able to take a look at it and say, okay, let me just take a breath. Let me take a step back. Why is this happening? This is happening for me. And when you've taken that breath and you drop into your heart, stop, drop, you drop into your heart or your intuition or your gut, and you're paying attention to what is, what is for my highest good? What is the frequency of yes? What could help me the most in this moment, instead of just responding quickly like maybe you would have in the past? And then roll. So stop, drop, and roll. When you roll, you are either processing it in the moment, because you have the capacity to do that. If a kid is like freaking out, you don't have the capacity. You need to come back and process it after. Or if you're in a car accident, you need to just, stay present with whatever's going on. You're going to go back and process it a day or two after, maybe even longer, depending on the severity of the situation. But there's times when we can process in the moment, and other times when we need a day or two to come back to it at a later time to process, like, okay, whoa, why did that happen? How did I respond? Did I feel good about that? Do I need to go back and repair and say something to someone? I apologize that I did it in that way. Whatever it is, it's really just owning your own experience and how you would want that situation to, to be finished or to be viewed or to be looked at. And then when you are able to stay on the surfboard and maybe you answer different, or you changed a pattern, then collect a gold coin. Okay, the gold coins are very important for tripping up your brain, collecting that dopamine hit, because then the body or the brain's like, whoa, that was fun. There's some dopamine hit to it, and you're going to go back and you are going to, want to do it again and again. How can I respond differently this next time? Right? Maybe boundaries or something that has been hard for you to say your whole life, or a way of expressing yourself. This is a really good game and opportunity to play with yourself, to collect as many gold coins as you can. Or maybe you fall off the surfboard in the roll scenario and you have a freak out or a meltdown, or you slam a door, or whatever it is. You respond in a way that you maybe aren't so proud of, or you wish you had done it differently. Then have the awareness. Awesome. Go back and repair if needed to be, with yourself too. And then collect a gold coin. Okay, you're collecting that bucket, if you need to, of gold coins, because you did something that was hard. You did something that, has not been your best way of responding in the past. And so you get that gold coin. Okay, something that can help you process in the moment of, it's like these little wins for yourself. Or if you think of the hard thing that you're going through right now, whether it's in your relationship or finances, or a course that you're taking, or someone that you care about and there's a situation that's going on, whatever it is, think about it like a video game. So this is the level of hard, right? With this scenario, name the situation and think of it like a video game, that this is the hard level. There's a dragon or there's some kind of obstacle. How can you slay the dragon, or move the obstacle, or jump over it so that you can go and collect the gold coin? Okay, so it's a lot of processing, a lot of, introspection, that kind of thing, but you're able to look at it from a different perspective. I think that's the biggest part, is you are aware as the witness. Okay, it's not that you're in the heat of the moment, dropped in a big hole again, or just a feeling of dread, or, oh no, how do I fix this? To, okay, from a different perspective, what is really going on here? How can I help myself or the situation so that it's in the highest good for everybody? Okay, so just some ways of processing. And often when you have a situation that's really uncomfortable, take a look at it and say, okay, if I were to flip the table and I was to turn it around, what is another perspective that's going on? What else could this be showing me? Because what you're doing is you're getting your brain on board on new ways of looking at it and new ways of solving it. Okay, so then usually when we do that and we change perspective, like, are you being abandoned, or are you being up-leveled to something different? Or you've outgrown that past relationship and now you're being moved in a different direction. So it's not necessarily abandonment or rejection. Again, be mindful of the way you look at something is going to be how you grew up, how you witness the world from 0 to 12 years. That's what's in your subconscious, way deep down, that you don't even maybe realize is even there. Those are where your blind spots are holding, right, or hiding. And so when you can look at it from what is this teaching me? What is my opportunity? What is this showing me? If I view the other person as their higher self and my higher self, and we're, solving this, what is this really showing us? Is it that I want my needs met in this way, and the other person wants their needs met, and we're wanting the same thing? We're just coming at it from two different sides of the table, right? So when you can come together, or you can look at it, how do we both have our needs met in this situation? Then usually there can be some resolve or something that feels lighter. Okay. The imbalanced symptoms here. So it's the inability to communicate. You may feel as though the cat got your tongue. You might have trouble talking and sharing your ideas with others. Okay. If your throat chakra is imbalanced. The other is lack of creativity. You no longer feel inspired. Additionally, you don't have the desire to share your creative passions with others. You have trouble listening to others. Okay, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more than you talk. Okay, and you may be talking when you should be listening, or you choose to speak over them instead of letting them share their thoughts. Sometimes, we're jumping over other people to be heard or to be right, or when they're talking, we're not even listening to the point or maybe the root of their hurt. We're listening to respond. We're listening to, okay, they're saying this is what I'm saying next. Oh, I'm going to get my 2 cents in, right? I'm going to get my perspective in. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about connection, right? And not losing that connection. So it's being able to listen, to stand up for yourself and not be, bowled over kind of thing, or not to be too shy where you're not answering and the other person is having to guess. Really connect in, ask yourself or your body, what is the appropriate response? And it could be, what, I don't know. I feel a little bit fearful in this situation, or this reminds me of an old situation that didn't go so well. And so I'm a little bit in my fear right now, right? Being able to communicate and ask for what we want really just changes the game. It helps you so much. Pain near your throat chakra. This may include neck pain, shoulder pain, TMJ, cold sores in your mouth, and more. So I'm going to share a little bit about those from a German New Medicine perspective. So when you have any pains in that area of the body, neck is all about feeling supported in a relationship from an emotional standpoint. Okay, the connection to that. If you're not feeling supported, or maybe you are, or you didn't think you were supported, but then something happened and you were supported, and now the body's rebuilding because it doesn't have to hold on to that old, maybe low self-esteem or thinking in a negative way about yourself or situation. Okay, so neck is about connection to relationships and feeling supported. Shoulder pain is around guilt. So the German word for shoulder, the base of it is guilt. Okay. And so if you were to, let's say you were to tap someone on their butt, is it the right hand or the left? If it's the right hand, then your left side is your mother-child side. Right side is your masculine, and that is your partner and everybody else. So your dad, any partners, siblings, co-workers, someone who cuts you off in traffic, it's everybody else. You just have to remember one side really. The left for if you were to tap someone with your right hand, more of that brain relay dominance, then the left side is your mother-child side. If you are going to clap with your left hand on top or tap someone's butt with your left, then it's the reverse. Then your right side is mother-child side. Okay, so with the throat, it really depends on or the shoulders, sorry, we're at the shoulders, what is going on, why they hurt. If you're a right hand clapper or you would tap someone with your right hand, then the left side is your mother-child side. So you can start asking yourself questions. If you have left shoulder issues, is it, do I have guilt? And do I feel guilt I'm not a good enough daughter or son or mother or father, right? If you have children, it's a really neat place to start. and see, what happened in the last 24 hours of what you had going on. And then on the right side is your partner and everybody else. So if it's your right shoulder that hurts, then are you holding on to some guilt with maybe not feeling like a good enough daughter or son or a good enough partner or good enough coworker or employer or employee, whatever it is, sibling. Everyone else is on that other side for you there, right on the right. And so it just gives you an opportunity to start asking some questions. TMJ again is all about what are you not saying, and so you're biting down. It's like you have this thing that's making you upset and you're biting down and not saying anything. That's what TMJ is. So you release, let go, and start to speak. Your bones are going to rebuild. There's pain in that, so it could be from that. Or it could be that you're just so wound up and tight from not saying something. Okay, so just be mindful of, is it in healing or are you in adaptation because you feel you need protection? Cold sores in the mouth, this has to do with separation, a separation conflict. We can't catch things like we have been taught. And so with a cold sore, again, comes to separation of like, ooh, I don't want to kiss that person, or I don't want to catch what they have. You can't catch it, but also, we think like, oh, if I touch them, then, ooh, I might get it too. No, that's not the case, okay? Cell salts can really help too in these areas of you may just be deficient in your minerals. And so that is all there for the throat chakra. Next here is beautiful. Oh, look at that beautiful picture of those crystals. The color is blue or turquoise for the throat chakra. The element is ether or space. The void, all that is, super conscious. The crystals and gemstones are aquamarine, celestine, turquoise, blue sapphire, chaldonce. No. I'm not even going to say it. It's right there. You can read it. That's a hard one for me to say. Next is body connection. So again, back to throat, jaw, lungs. The lungs is connected to a scare fright or a territorial fear or conflict. Vocal cords, esophagus, what can't you swallow, the mouth, the teeth. The teeth are very interesting too because they're connected to meridians in the body. And so usually what's happening in the teeth could be something that you're not saying as one part. There's a bunch of different things that can be for the teeth. But there's one other part that I would like to mention too. With the throat area, and this is in German New Medicine, is there's something called a chunk conflict. Okay, so you have a hard time swallowing something. That'll be a lump in your throat on the right side. You want something, but you can't swallow it. So it could be unconditional love or attention from somebody, and they're just not available. So you have that lump in your throat on the right. Or something uncomfortable that's hard to get rid of, then that will be on the left. So just something to think about if you ever have lumps in your throat and it hurts on one of the other sides. It could be from solving one of those things. Grounding foods are listed here. Apples, pears, plums, blueberries, etc. Okay, some really nice herbs listed too. And then this is a little bit of a message here about meditating. Some people have trouble meditating and they just cannot, right? A lot of people with unprocessed trauma have a hard time meditating or sitting still to ground. If breath work, visualization, or daydreaming feels better, then do that instead. Okay, whatever's relaxing for you, whatever's going to put you into a calm state, then you want to focus on that. Breath work is really great because you're breathing. You don't have to close your eyes. You can do it and, be in a state of calm wherever you are, whatever's going on. You can be in that place. One little story I noticed when I was starting to meditate, I had joined a spiritual group, a 1-year container or program, and we were starting to meditate. And a couple of things. I would fall asleep, like I would flat out pass out. That is okay too if you're doing guided meditations because you need the rest. Your body is in healing. If you find that when you're meditating that it's really hard to sit still or your thoughts are racing, I'll share with you, you do not need to clear your mind. Give your mind something to think about. Maybe it's focusing on your breath, right? If your mind is too busy. Eventually, if you could clear your mind to think about nothing, then awesome. You're an advanced meditator. But in the beginning, like, don't be hard on yourself. You cannot get it wrong. It's basically meditation is like a timeout. You're taking some self-care time to just sit with yourself and process, be aware of your environment and what's going on. I noticed as well after 5 months of meditating, well, even before that, let me share, I would get so mad. I'd be like, man, all I see is black. I'm thinking about the groceries and what else I have to do later. Like, am I even meditating? Is this even worth my time? That's really how I started meditating. And I started with a program that my beautiful friend Virginia was teaching at the time, a course on meditation. And she said, start small. Like, you can start with 1 minute a day. On day 1, day 2, 2 minutes, day 3, do 4 minutes if you can, right? And just and add more time each day, because then it gets easier. A really neat, let me tell you the story about the 5 months. So after 5 months, I was realizing with meditating that I was holding my breath. I was at the desk. I think I've shared the story, but I was at the desk doing something on the computer that I was really enjoying, and I'm actually stopping and I'm holding my breath. So I'm in a state of conflict or in panic, but I'm not even aware of it. It's just what my body is doing. And so this is really important, especially with the throat chakra here. Set an alarm if you want for an hour in the day, like between 10 and 2 or 10 and 6 or something, and play really nice music for the alarm, not a beeping one that's going to put you back into fight or flight, but something that's calming like nature sounds, and just be aware of how am I breathing? Am I in fight or flight, freeze or fawn? Am I in a calm state? And just this awareness of how you are, or take 5 breaths, that would be the best. Or do a 15-minute breath work, right? Maybe every 2 hours or 3 hours. The presence process has really great, just straight breathing for 15 minutes. It's just in, out, very calmly. And you're really just taking stock of like what's going on. You're not trying to process anything, fix anything. You're just sitting and just being with yourself for 15 minutes, okay? Something else that you can do as well. So it's not necessarily like meditating. All right, so we cannot clear the mind when it is in a very active beta state. When you are in a really high fight or flight, or you're just starting to process old traumas and stuff like that, you're in a really high beta. Your brain's just gonna go, 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 right? Just like there's a tiger. So your body's just tripped into hyper aware. But the more you breathe, the more you calm yourself. This is where cold showers are super helpful because it resets the body. If you're having a panic attack, then you want to put your face into cold water up to your, like just under your eyes, or put a wet, cold cloth just under your eyes, because it resets the whole body. The body goes, oh, when there's something cold in that area, and it's going to reset the body. Okay. And so that's a way to come back into calm or out of a high beta. Next would be alpha state, when you're calmer. Theta state even more. Theta is just that comfy, cozy just before you go to sleep or when you're waking up, to be in that state. That's the best time to reprogram your subconscious. Okay, so it's easier to redirect the mind or give it a job, like now we're having a rest and we'll list all the things to do in 10 minutes, right? Sometimes we have to talk to our body a little bit like a child. Or see the thought that comes in, and like picking up the groceries, float off in a bubble and tell yourself that you'll come back to it after meditation. Talk sweet, sweet to your body and to your mind. You are in control of your body. Otherwise, biological chemicals based on old patterns will take over. Okay, so if that happens, put your hand anywhere in your body so you can ground. On the chest is good, or the belly, and just say, I am safe, or I am vital. I love that one. Or I'm, meant to be here. Whatever feels good to you in the moment. I'm safe is a good one because it's sweet and simple. At nighttime, tell your cells it's time to go to sleep and that you will wake up feeling fully rested, right? Set that intention ahead of time, not, oh, I hope I get to sleep and I hope I don't wake up tired. You're going to wake up tired because that's exactly the direction that you, or the order you gave your brain. Your brain is like a computer, so you definitely want to be giving it the right things to work on or to visualize or think about. So before you go to bed, visualize the energy of something that you want, whether it's a partnership or a new client or a family member to have health, wellness, whatever it is that you could feel, or a vacation that you want to go to. That's the best because you're going to go into your dream state in a place, maybe you'll have a dream of being at the beach or something that's really pleasant. The more calm and happier kind of thoughts you have before you go to sleep, the better your sleep is going to be. If you are not on your phone for the hour before you go to bed, then there's less stimulation for your brain. It actually can start to, turn off all of the chemicals that keep us up and in that high beta and functioning all day, and start to move towards calming down, especially, as we move through the seasons and in the winter time or the fall and early spring when there's more darkness. Try to move your day around that when it's light, you work. When there's more of a darkness or time, is you are in soft reflection or reading or something that's really calming, okay? Because it's teaching the body how to be calm and relaxed, especially before going to bed. You are able to create the reality that you desire. What you think about has a lot to do with that. So here's another visualization. So take a moment to visualize, close your eyes, and picture a beautiful turquoise light pulsating on the throat chakra location. Okay, so that you've got that beautiful blue light that's there. You could even say, you know what, I'm going to start saying, better things to myself, or I'm going to start to have better boundaries, or standing up for myself. Whatever it is, you're setting the intention from now that you want to move towards being more content in your body. That does mean asking for things or expressing what it is that you want or you need, because then people are not guessing, right? And you're not, oh, my needs are never met. Well, are you asking for the help too? It's communication is a two-way street. And you just want to make sure that you're taking responsibility for what it is that you want or what you need, and going with the highest or the best flow for yourself and for others. All right, so thank you so much for listening to the throat chakra lesson, and we're going to move next into the third eye.